morning, guys, and welcome back to my channel. I just want to welcome all of my longtime subscribers and to also let you know that I have gained another 100 subscribers over the past couple of weeks. And welcome to Glenda Sully. I hope that you enjoy it as much as I do and as much as all my other subs enjoy going along with me on this journey in my life. I do try to be as entertaining and funny as possible. And I do try to bring you exciting videos and just show you a little bit of where I'm living now on Long Island, New York, and also to go back in history and to tell you some things about my life growing up in South Mississippi. And I just hope that you will come along and stay with me throughout this journey. I do have a little bit of a cold and sore throat, so I'm going to probably be clearing this frog out of my throat throughout this video, but I'm sure all of y'all understand that with it being February. It is the time of the year that we're battling chest colds and all types of sinus infections and all types of problems, but I am committed to making a video as often as possible. I am trying to get back on my schedule of making a video on Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday. But if I miss one of those days, just know that I will have one up as soon as I possibly can. And like you can tell, I am struggling to talk today with this little bit of laryngitis. But the title of my video is that life has been hard, very difficult lately. And a lot of that has to do with the time of the year. It is February. All three of my children were born in February. My oldest son, Jason, was born February the 10th, 1973, and my middle son, Jeremy, was born February the 18th, 1978, and then my daughter, Jill, was born February the 26th, 1981. So throughout their growing up years, we would have a birthday party every weekend in February, and usually they would be themed. With Jason's, I would usually theme his around Valentine's Day. And then Jeremy and Jill, sometimes if their birthdays fell around Mardi Gras, then we would have a Mardi Gras themed birthday party. But I never did have one party for all three of them. I thought, well, they're all individuals and they all deserve their own individual birthday party. And that's what we had and celebrated throughout their years. But February is very difficult with me. Or for me, because it's also my son Jeremy's birthday that we have to celebrate now with him not being here with us on this earth, because Jeremy was killed by a drunk driver on May the 27th, 1997. He had worked that day and I was out of town in Mississippi. I will just give you a little brief summary because my longtime subscribers have already heard the story, but this is for my new subs so that you'll have a little bit of my history. But I had gone to Mississippi. We were very poor. I had been divorced about 6 or 7 years from the children's father, and I was struggling and trying to make it as a single mother living there in Kissimmee, Florida, and Jason and Jeremy and Jill were all working and trying to help support and keep a roof over our heads. And, I was working and doing the best that I could, struggling and just trying to get through life, life circumstances. And my old car had broken down, so I didn't have a car. And my sister Bobby, she said, well, her neighbor has a car for sale. So we negotiated the deal and everything. So I flew from Orlando, Florida into New Orleans airport, and my sister picked me up and we went to her house in Mississippi, and I looked at the car and purchased it. And so I was planning on driving it home the next day. Well, about midnight that night, I got a call from Jason, and he said, Mom, you need to call this man. His name is David Tucker. And I said, well, why? I don't know anybody named David Tucker. And Jason said, well, you need to call him because, he wants to talk to you. And we're worried because Jeremy hasn't come home. And I knew Jeremy was, had worked that day and was supposed to come home from work. So I called that number, and it was the chaplain at Orlando Regional Hospital. And he couldn't even talk to me, y'all. He just started crying, and he handed the phone to the doctor. And so the doctor told me, I'm sorry to tell you, but your son has been killed in a car crash. So I just immediately went into shock. I had to give the phone to my sister. And I just remember telling her Jeremy's dead. So she had to make arrangements for us to fly out of New Orleans back into Orlando the next morning. And I just remember being in that airplane, and I remember my head just throbbing and hurting severely. I mean, I thought it was going to burst. And then that's about all I remember until by then Jeremy's body had been taken to the funeral home. And so I had to go there the next day and make arrangements to bury my son. But I'm kind of getting off track, but I did want to give y'all a little brief history of what happened and why I'm having a hard time today, because Jeremy isn't here for me to be able to celebrate his birthday and for me to be able to give him a hug and say, Jeremy, I love you and I'm so proud of you. So it's difficult, and many of my subscribers have lost a child, and I want you to know that I grieve for you and I hurt for you also. It's something that we never ever get over. The pain never goes away. It does lessen with time. Time does heal the pain a little bit, but whenever it's their birthday, the pain comes back just raw and real, and it just hurts to your core, and it will just rip you apart. So that's kind of what I've been dealing with this month. So it's difficult to get on here and make videos and to smile and act like I'm happy and there's nothing wrong, because there's something very wrong. My heart has been ripped out of my body, and I've put it back in there, and it's in all broken little pieces, and it will never heal completely, and it will never be the same. And I want all of you mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles who have lost loved ones to know that I feel your pain. I pray for you, and I just hope that you have found a way to deal with it and to get through life as best that you can. So I want to let you all know that I appreciate you being here with me, and thank you so much for listening to me and sharing my grief and my heartache and my burden. So if you don't mind, I would appreciate you giving me a thumbs up. And if this video just was suggested in your feed, I want to ask you to please subscribe. And y'all just keep on coming back. Bye, guys.